Can you speak about your deputy who was arrested yesterday?
Okay. I can tell you that it was a surprise to me to have heard that. The information first when it came across to me, I got a call from, of course, one of our investigators relaying the information to me, and that Oklahoma City Police was going to do an interview with him, and one of our command staff present during the interview. We sent a lieutenant to be present when the interview was conducted. At the conclusion of that interview, I spoke with the lieutenant based upon and asked him to relay to me the conversation in the interview. He relayed to me the admissions against self-interest that were made by the deputy, and at that point in time I made the decision to fire him. So he was terminated at that point in time at that location of the time he was at. He was actually being interviewed at our substation up at Quail Springs Mall. And he was fired at the substation at Quail Springs Mall. Yesterday. Or was that Saturday? Saturday. A lot of things are running together, but I was extremely disappointed, and we placed a lot of faith and trust in him when we sent him to the academy, and when he pinned a badge on. And he let not only me down, but he let every member of this agency down, and every member of law enforcement. Will not tolerate that violation of trust. That was an act of violence against a woman. An act of violence against anyone is not acceptable, and in this case, an act which is known as rape is, we won't tolerate it. That's why the decision was made at the conclusion of the interview to fire him.
Has he had any prior instances while he was serving as a deputy here? Do you have anything on his record?
He did not, and that's why it came as a surprise. He was a detention officer here at the sheriff's office. He did a great job as detention officer. Then he was selected to go to the academy. Those who are selected to go to the academy are based upon their job that they do as a detention officer working here in the jail. He had an outstanding record, and that's why it was so surprising to all of us when his name was brought up, that he would be involved in activity like that.
To your knowledge, none of this stuff happened when he was on duty or anything like that?
Yeah, as I understand it, absolutely nothing happened when he was on duty. This was all off duty.
Can you confirm that he was a school resource officer at Elizabeth Ann Seton Catholic School in Edmond?
I can. And it has, and let me make sure that you understand, his actions with the female had nothing to do with where he was assigned. Had nothing to do with the school, had nothing to do with any student. This was strictly an action between him and an adult female, not related in any way whatsoever with his employment at the school.
So concerning that he was around young children, though, I guess.
Obviously, anytime anyone is involved in activity like this, we're concerned about him being around anyone, much less children. So we've reached out to the school. We've talked to the administrators there. Another deputy is already on the site, and we'll be going back through a selection process. They also were extremely disappointed. I received a note from children about the great job that he was doing, relating to them, working with them, playing basketball with them, doing a fantastic job at the school. So I'm sorry, it was from a lady at the school relating to me what children were saying. So they were extremely pleased. So this came totally clear out of the blue. I'm shocked, I'm surprised, and extremely disappointed.
Do you know how long he'd been working there as a school resource officer?
It was relatively a short period of time, I think just this school year.
And he's been, how long with you guys?
February 2014.
So 2 years.
As a detention officer.
As a detention officer.
And it's really unusual that we have someone in the academy with less than 2 years in as a detention officer. He impressed a lot of people with his work here prior to being selected to go to the academy. I mean, he was a good employee, but we won't tolerate that kind of behavior. Period. And the great thing is that state law allows me a lot more latitude than police departments. I originally had looked at placing him on suspension until we learned more, but at the end of the interview, and based upon what the lieutenant told me the admissions were, at that point in time he was fired. And I'm very thankful that state law allows us to deal with issues a lot quicker than local police departments, just because of the way state law and contracts are in the state of Oklahoma. So.